Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Faye Watt, and let's queer up faith. Sunshine Cathedral prayer vigil at Alligator Alcatraz draws faith leaders and LGBTQ plus voices.
Hello everyone, I'm Bishop Durrell Watkins from the Sunshine Cathedral. We're here at Alligator Alcatraz. We're praying today from 5 to 6. And it's a prayer vigil. It's not a protest, it's a prayer vigil where we're praying for the dignity, for the treatment of people. Some people may have run afoul of the law, some people have maybe not. Not everyone has been treated fairly or with due process. And so we're here to pray for their safety, for their well-being, for their dignity, and for all of us to treat our neighbors better, wherever they came from, wherever they're here. So this will be going on week after week after week for a while. We're here for this one. We will come back for others in the future. But what you can do is you can pray with us also. You may not see this live, but you can still, whenever you see it, just join your prayers for the situation that we're going through right now in the U.S. with how we're dealing with and treating immigrants, and we can do better. We can deal with these issues humanely, and so let's pray that we will do so. So that's where we are. That's what we're doing. We'll check in again soon.
A powerful interfaith prayer vigil took place at Alligator Alcatraz, organized by the Workers' Circle of New York and hosted by various Florida faith organizations. Sunshine Cathedral, a prominent LGBTQ plus affirming church based in South Florida, which we are coming to you live from, attended this vigil and will be hosting a similar vigil on September 28th. The gathering drew 75 participants, including 20 identified religious leaders from traditions such as the United Church of Christ, the Methodist Church, Unitarian Universalist, Jewish, Zen Buddhist, and Episcopalian denominations. The vigil, held just outside the detention center, was a call for compassion and justice for detained migrants, many of whom faith leaders said are being, quote, dehumanized and demonized, end quote. Bishop Durrell Watkins of Sunshine Cathedral delivered a passionate address. He said, quote, "It is heartbreaking what our government is doing and what we've allowed them to do, but it's not too late to change it. We must keep praying with our meetings, protests, worship, writing, spending, and voting so we can be human again, care again, have empathy again, and relieve suffering instead of spreading it. People here have done nothing wrong except want to be here. Many followed the process and were still arrested. If they're willing to endure all this just to be here, why aren't we doing everything to protect them? We could talk about xenophobia, racism, homophobia, and transphobia, all of which contribute. But the reason we must speak up is because these people are our people. The divisions aren't imaginary. We wouldn't want this done to ourselves or our loved ones, so we can't be silent while it's happening to anyone. Thank you for your witness," end quote. Joining Watkins were Bishop Robert Griffin, his husband, Joseph Long, and Hans Morose, all representing Sunshine Cathedral, the only LGBTQ identified faith community present at the vigil. Families of detainees were expected to attend, but were unable to reach the site due to a road closure from an accident. Still, the presence of diverse religious voices made the vigil deeply moving, a testament to shared human dignity and the enduring power of interfaith solidarity. You know, I love Durrell and Robert. They are a power team. I mean, they are a couple values that I look up to so much. They're incredible. They're fierce advocates, and they don't let anybody fall through the cracks, right? They are there to pray and to serve everyone, you know? So I wasn't surprised when I was watching the news and I saw Durrell and Robert on Channel 6, Channel 7, Channel 10. Like, they were everywhere. And it was wonderful to watch. I mean, this is important. Nobody knows how, well, unless you live here, you don't know how far Alligator Alcatraz is, okay? From where we're sitting at today, right now, it could take us 3 hours to get there, okay? And we are in South Florida. So the fact that these folks traveled 2.5 hours to do an hour vigil and then get in their cars and then go back, you know, is a testament to how much they really are representing and loving everyone, you know, unified. Them mentioning the families of the detainees and them not getting in. I know for you folks at home, you're like, what? What do you mean they couldn't get in? That's a South Florida norm. That's something we're used to, especially when it comes to a place that is far down there in the Everglades and not easy to get to at all. You know,
it's not an easy drive.
It's not.
No, it's not.
It's not.
To agree with you, it's a testament, of course. It's tough for me to watch this story, obviously it's tough for all of us. I'm a man of faith myself, and when I try to give advice of prayer and kindness over the battles that we're receiving right now with this disgusting camp, it's almost like, even from people within the Wilton Manors community, I get a negative response, and they feel as if it's a response of privilege that I'm saying that I choose to pray for everyone. So it's sad. I feel like this is a moment in time where we need to come together as a community as opposed to fight from within, you know? You can fight the issues at hand and still have empathy and pray for everyone, you know? So I think that's an important a piece of information.
Well, and it's also, I mean, these people are not criminals. They just wanted to be here. Like, where is the dignity?
That's right.
You know, Gil, what you got?
Coming from the political sphere, I can tell you one thing. When it comes down to Alligator Alcatraz right now, it's nothing more than a horrid distraction from the turmoil that we're going on right now. Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis want to elevate Alligator Alcatraz because I'm going to just run through a few things that I wrote down here. BLS jobs report numbers are going down the tank. People are feeling that their affordability crunch is coming in. And then also you have the Hope Florida crisis that the DeSantis administration is steering through. And the fact that, quite frankly, his own wife can't seem to pull out a lead in any gubernatorial polling so far for the Republican nomination. So quite frankly, the story here is we're dealing with a humanitarian crisis. And yes, it is absolutely critical for having communities of faith, LGBTQ plus communities, being able to come together and build a broad coalition on these consensus issues. But let us not forget what Alligator Alcatraz is in its own real way. And that's a distraction from the fact that we have people who are dealing with an affordability crisis. We are dealing with folks who are getting fundamental rights taken away from them. And they just need a distraction in order to make themselves look good so they can continue raising money. They can play themselves off to their base, and they can try to go forward in 2026. That's what this is all about.
Look at this. Look at Alligator Alcatraz, and we won't talk about Epstein anymore.
Yes.
Jamal?
Which is what we should actually be talking about. Epstein over and over and over again, just compounding the media with all of the faultiness of this administration, but also I want to uplift the place we're sitting in, Sunshine Cathedral, because taking an initiative like this is very important. I even wrote down that he specifically chose specific language. This is a prayer visual, not a demonstration.
Not a protest.
Exactly. Knowing the language is important in this political environment, because this could be seen as a demonstration and it could be seen as them being hauled off, taken to jail, you know, but here we go with LGBTQ plus people taking the initiative outside of all of the faith-based organizations we see in South Florida. As you said, South Florida is a vast place. We have LGBTQ faith-based organizations from different leaders in different genres coming together to start something, an initiative to bring back some sort of human element to what's going on just right outside in our backyard.
Yeah, no, it's scary. It's scary shit. There, I used the word, excuse me. You know, like I have I know it sounds cliche, but like my hairdresser's friend, you know, she was like, hey, he just went in for his second interview, right? He did everything that he was supposed to do. They even scheduled him another interview follow-up. And on his way out, they freaking took him away. You know, and that's one of many stories that's happening right now, you know. So we've got to be vigilant. We've got to be aware, right? So if prayers work, you can do that from wherever you're at.
Yeah. And he's inviting us he's inviting everybody to pray. And on the heels of that, I had a reality check. I was leaving Hollover a few weeks ago, probably about 8 p.m. at night or whatever. And as I was driving out, down the street ran 3 ICE cars. And I hadn't seen it till now, because I've heard stories, they raided da-da-da, and I saw 3 ICE cars just careening down A1A. And as I exited, they were going towards the beach. And I was like, there's nothing off limits for you. And it just brought me back to reality, because I have lived in a sort of a privileged bubble. Like, okay, this is going on, but it doesn't affect me.
Maybe it doesn't affect me. Yeah.
As I'm exiting, I see this and I'm like, right in my backyard. It could happen anywhere at any time. And this is real. And it just brought it home to me that night that this is really occurring, that dehumanizing processes and these things are really occurring right here in our backyard.
And it's nice to see, people like, Robert and Durrell out there, giving the good LGBTQ plus word and being positive about it too, because I've had enough of seeing, and maybe we haven't had enough of seeing all of these people, on film and on like TikTok and whatever, and being captured and stuff and all of the horrible stuff. And, we've got people in our community that are for the better good of the outcome of this. And that's what we should be focusing on. Sometimes all we have left is prayer when we've exhausted just about everything.
Yeah.
And I think this is the example, is what he's showing, is that, when collectively people are empowered for the good, hopefully things will get better and prevail better.
Right? And moments like this, you feel helpless. You feel useless. Like, what am I supposed to do about that, right? Prayer may seem something very small and insignificant, but there's power in it, and Durrell and Robert are making sure that we know that. I mean, you go here, so you know that. That is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.